Welcome to Spark Infinity Office Hours, where creative journeys unfold in real time. In these intimate sessions, our hosts open their creative playbooks to share fresh discoveries, current experiments, and hard won insights from their personal artistic paths. Whether diving into recent breakthroughs or working through creative challenges, each office hour session offers a raw, unfiltered look at the creative process in action. Join us to explore the practical tools, mindset shifts, and unexpected revelations that shape our ongoing artistic evolution. The quote of the day goes something like this: when everyone zigs, zag. Who said that? Steven Anderson, ostensibly anyway. Could have been someone else. Today's date is October 10th, 2025. Actually, it's October 9th, 2025. Good job, notes. And if you happen to be watching this on any other day, you are much better at time travel than I am. Today's presentation is on multi-platform growth or multi-presence growth. Again, I think I made some mistakes in my notes there, but multi-platform growth is what we're going to be talking about today. And in the broader marketing community, this is what is known as omni-channel marketing. That's not a term necessarily that you may like as a creative, and we like to adjust things in a way and present them in a way that's a little more appealing. So multi-platform, multi-presence growth, that's what we're talking about the whole month of October. Also go to the Facebook group. You can go to davidandrewweep.com/SparkInfinityFB, or you can just go on over to Facebook and type in Spark Infinity, and you should be able to find our group. Join it. Join the conversation because we have new threads going almost daily. Let's get into today's presentation. So first, I'll talk a little bit about our Facebook group and its overall growth. This has really been the foundational platform for Spark Infinity. It's how we got started. I mean, technically we did start, it wasn't live streaming. Well, no, I guess we did. We did start live streaming before we ever looked at even growing our Facebook group. But the key points being, we grew our group from 4 to over 2,100 in 9 months. And that is definitely impressive on its own. But a lot of groups, I'm aware of a lot of groups that have grown much faster than that. So we're not breaking any records here. I still think it's substantial. And we're really proud of that growth. I'm really happy with that growth. But we do know, and we're fully aware of people who are growing much faster than that. But today's focus is not the Facebook group, because honestly, we've kind of talked about this already, although we could cover it in depth in the future. So multi-platform live streaming really from day one has been part of my strategy, and we are using software called StreamYard. Many other people out there growing similar groups are using Zoom. Nothing wrong with that. I've also used Zoom on occasion if my guests were more comfortable than that. But there are reasons why StreamYard has been the go-to for us. One of the reasons is Facebook deletes your group live streams after 30 days. So unless you're very conscious about going in to your Facebook group and downloading all your lives and your videos, if you want to save them, there might be people or there might be cases where you don't really want to save them. But if you do want to save them and do more with them later, and I would honestly suggest that, it's a heck of a lot of work you're putting in just to go live and not back up the content or doing anything with it, then you can't count on Facebook to back up and hold on to your content. They're literally telling you that they're deleting it every 30 days. So really from day one, I knew I wanted to back up my content. And from day one, I knew I wanted to stream to multiple destinations. And I knew that StreamYard would help me accomplish that. Bottom line is, because I also stream to YouTube, and that's also kind of the last point on this slide, is I'm primarily streaming to both Facebook and YouTube, although we have experimented with Instagram. And I am thinking about upgrading and streaming to more platforms, kind of beside the point. But streaming to YouTube, your live streams do get saved automatically, unless your channel is going through some problems, unless YouTube decides you don't like your channel and you got too many flags going up, your content is backed up there the moment you stream to YouTube. Again, unless there's some kind of copyright issues or any other kind of content issues that they deem as offensive to their community. Otherwise, you get to keep the content on YouTube. So that was another reason why I want to use StreamYard from day one. Of course, one of the points that's not really covered in this slide is the fact that we can easily, I mean, I guess it's kind of covered, but it's insinuated, it's implied more than spelled out, is the fact that we can, once the content is backed up, we can use it in other ways. It can be edited. And so either way, the fact that all of our content is backed up gives us the ability to edit, repost, and create clips. And that's really the point. So let's talk a little bit about the video clips, because that's kind of been our focus with this whole multi-platform experiment that we've started. And I started breaking down the presentations and interviews into short video clips, also known as shorts and reels, depending on what platform we're talking about. At the end of the day, as long as the meaning gets across, that's all that matters there. And I began sharing the clips on multiple platforms on July 2nd. You will note that that wasn't very long ago. That's only a few months ago. And at first, we weren't getting or seeing any traction. It might be a little bit hard to see within the presentation, but just to read it out for you: 16 views, 31 views, no views, 2 views, 4 views, 2 views, 2 views, no views, etc. That's about how we were doing. That's about how most people do when they start publishing short clips to various platforms. And that can be quite discouraging. In fact, with so many people talking about reels and shorts, you might ask yourself, what am I doing wrong if I'm only getting 0 views or 2 views or 4 views or whatever? But here's the thing. We started gaining traction on pretty much all the platforms that we were publishing to. Again, I'll read out these stats for you because the screenshot might be a little bit hard to see. And now, again, these videos are surrounded by, or there's one video that's gotten 3 views that's surrounded by all these others, but we started seeing videos that got 335 views, 745 views, 1,100 views. So all of a sudden, this awareness that our content actually is getting seen. Now, we're not always hitting those numbers consistently at this point, but we are starting to see that the videos are overall starting to get more views. So let's talk a little bit about total views per platform, like what we've been doing so far to this point. And again, keep in mind, having started in July 2nd, I think these stats are something worth talking about. In Instagram, we managed to get 2,681 views and 4 followers. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that the followers resulted from the content in every case, especially with YouTube, because we have videos, we have live streams, and we've got shorts. So the following that was contributed to YouTube might not be entirely made up of, or may not be simply because of the shorts. But in the case of Instagram and the other platforms, it pretty much is. So we got the follows because of the content that was there. So I have excluded my personal Instagram account from these numbers because each video has been getting tens of thousands of views. In some cases over 20,000 views on my personal Instagram account. That thing is probably a little bit out of whack at this point. I had paid for a little bit of promotion, and that account just seems to keep growing on its own as long as I keep publishing content. It doesn't seem like we get a whole lot of engagement. It doesn't seem like those views or likes actually lead to anything, but hey, I guess I'll take it. I'll talk maybe more about that in the future. We got the entire month to talk about multi-platform presence, so there should be an opportunity to share more about that. On TikTok, I counted 5,592 views and 2 new followers. So over 5,000 views for just posting for a month. X, we did set up an account, but our content is not visible to the public yet. I don't know what X's new policies are. I don't know what sort of clown show they're running over there. It used to be that you set up an account on Twitter, you start tweeting, people see your stuff, you gain a following, you follow other people follow you. That's what used to happen on social media. It doesn't happen like that anymore for whatever reason. I think you have to follow a certain number of people. I think you have to get a certain number of followers. I think you have to post frequently, whatever it is. X has got some kind of background metrics or background requirements that you must meet for them to consider your account legit, I guess. And so I can see that our content is being posted to X just like it is being posted to Instagram, TikTok, X, and YouTube. However, the public can't see it at this particular point in time, it seems. So whatever, hopefully we get that worked out, but otherwise maybe just cut X from the mix, because I've started focusing considerably less on X as a platform. I put a lot of time, money, and energy into it and did not see the kind of return that I wanted to see. So I've mostly abandoned it. I don't even have an auto posting or some kind of posting library from which it pulls and posts to X anymore. I don't even do that. I used to do that for a while, just short form content. I used to do that more, and I'm not even doing that anymore. And it's not like I saw a decline in my business or saw a decline in any other way. So it's just not worth it. YouTube is obviously the most impressive with 7,037 views and 8 subscribers. The shorts contributed greatly to the number of views we had, because most of our live streams, most of our videos don't have that many views. It seems to have contributed to our subscriber numbers as well, which is nice to see. Again, nothing to write home about in terms of followers or subscribers, but it's nice to know that when you do get more visibility, people do pay attention and might be interested in subscribing and getting more content like it. So a few things in summary for today's presentation. Creating and distributing clips requires really minimal effort at this point, especially if you already have long-form content. If you haven't created anything anywhere, you're starting from scratch, kind of a different story, but we've been doing these Spark Infinity streams. In fact, it started out as just Spark Infinity videos. We would get together as a group, we'd record them and then post them to YouTube. Then we decided we wanted to go live. Then we decided that we wanted to start interviewing people or having conversations with people as well. So we built up a sizable amount. I've been live streaming and blogging and podcasting much, much, much longer than that. Started many years ago. So I've got all kinds of stuff that I can realistically turn into clips. I'm only focused on Spark Infinity right now because it's kind of the most up-to-date thing that we're doing, and it's just my weekly session or weekly opportunity to bring something to the table and talk about it and share it. Would really love this to be more of a forum where there's more people showing up, including my co-hosts, but if I have to do so, I will. Next point, if you're skeptical, even if you're skeptical of the quality of your content, mining for gold might be more productive and easier than you think. The reason that is the case is because you may have said some things like, maybe you have really poor quality videos. Some of my videos suck and I know it, but I posted, I started, right? And that's the whole thing. I wouldn't even say that. I mean, anyway, I'm a perfect presenter, I'm a perfect communicator, I'm pretty good at what I do. I would love to be even quicker on my feet than I am, but I think I'm pretty decent at what I do. But honestly, I could be better. But when you start looking into just short clips, like maybe 10 seconds or 20 seconds or 30 seconds, even if you're not the greatest content creator or producer in the world, if you go mining for it, you might find a few clips that are like funny, entertaining, inspiring, just really great quotables or tweetables. If you go looking for it, you can find it even within content that potentially quote unquote sucks. Next, consistency on social media can breed momentum and eventually traction. I think that's what this experiment has proven so far, that if you just show up, and again, I didn't even really pay attention to the numbers early on, almost just didn't care. I was experimenting with a new tool, and I'm sure we'll have the opportunity to talk more about tools in another presentation in the coming weeks. But I wasn't even focused on that. I simply started posting, simply started breaking down the clips to see what this tool can do and what it would allow me to do. Really, the time savings is kind of what I was after, because I think on some level I was also kind of done posting to Instagram daily. But then I saw, the momentum got killed and the following started getting smaller, and I thought, I guess we're gonna have to reignite this and turn the engine back on, keep pumping stuff out. Well, guess what? Like I said, I've got a huge amount of content in the archives. Right now, we're still posting stuff or repurposing stuff from 2024. I haven't even started posting clips from 2025 yet, and it's almost the end of 2025. So there's still a lot more to leverage at this point because we've got a sizable archive of stuff. Again, not all of it great, but we can extract the clips from it that do have potential social media viral value. I mean, I hesitate to use the word viral, but you understand what I mean. And I would also say this point could be controversial. It's not exactly proven yet, but this is kind of what I think based on the experiment so far, is that if you want to gain more followers and subscribers faster and using a similar method to what we did, then you would certainly want to add a call to action to your clips. And even if that's a generic pre-recorded, maybe you've got 2 or 3 different variations, you keep swapping them in and out for every clip. Bottom line is this is a lot of extra work, so I don't know if I would want to do it unless I was really focused on one platform, because time savings for me was, again, the main driver, main reason I even went looking for a tool or found a tool that would allow me to cut my videos into smaller clips and share it everywhere. So I don't know if I would have even tried if there wasn't the availability of something like that. But in theory, I think adding a call to action, people seem to respond to this stuff. I was really bad about adding call to actions to my videos in the past. People almost expect it, and I think on some level it's maybe persuasive. With a lot of personalities being what they are on YouTube, I don't know how persuasive they are, but they've got the tea to spill. Whatever that might be. It might just be really good looks. It might be a personality. It might be a skill like guitar. It might be just try on holes. Look at me try different bikinis on. Whatever it is, they've got some tea to spill, and that's why people subscribe, not because they were told to subscribe. But it's kind of like a reminder, it's just direct. It's like, hey, could you please like, comment, and subscribe? So experiment with that. I would suggest it if you want to gain more followers and subscribers faster, because otherwise you're pretty much starting from a standing start like we were, with really no following, no awareness. I wouldn't say no following and no awareness, but very little, especially on other platforms. So that's today's presentation on multi-platform presence. I hope you got lots out of this. What I'm going to do now, again, because I kind of figured this would be a short and snappy one, but perhaps maybe not more so than several other presentations I've done. So we've filled a good amount of time. Maybe because I waxed eloquent or elaborated on all of the points. But today I did have a few questions, so I'm going to answer those, and then I'm probably going to go and eat some Mexican food. All right, so we've got, the first question is, why did you go back to the office hours format? We might have noticed that today is the first day we've done this. However, office hours never actually went anywhere. It was just more the fact that we were prioritizing other program formats with the interviews. It seems like at this particular moment in time, there are not a ton of people interested in going live. That's okay with me. And that's really what the quote was all about, the intro quote, when everyone zag. Everyone seems to be zigging right now, leaning into the interviews, getting more guests, having more conversations. that's great for them. And I don't want to say that it was a grueling schedule. I can do it. I simply don't have quite the flexibility available like I did before. Like I can't just take a lunch hour off and justify doing a live stream, like a full hour, and doing a live stream at this particular point in time. So the gaps in my schedule are what's available. I would only make things available perhaps to people who are very well established in some kind of capacity in the creative or entertainment industries, or people who are overseas and also established in some capacity. Then I would open up different sections of my schedule. I mean, I think I've been pretty generous with that anyway. Some people said they could only do a weekend. I opened up some weekend times to have things happen for them. But yeah, it's just not the way things are happening at the moment. I think what will happen more likely than not is we'll continue to do these weekly office hours. Like I said, I think it's really important to have like a weekly show, something going where I can express myself and hopefully have conversations with others who are interested and willing to join in on these presentations and conversations. Definitely want to do that. But even if it's just solo, even if it's just me, want to continue to do this. So office hours never went anywhere. We might have done fewer of them in recent history, but they're back. And they are our primary or most predominant format right now. That certainly does not mean that we're not looking to highlight more of the community. All you got to do is get in touch with me some way, somehow, leave a comment in the chat or even direct message me, whatever it is, and you can come on one of these shows. But I think what's likely to happen is we'll mostly focus on these office hours and maybe add an interview here and there. And it probably will be somewhat sporadic. But what will be consistent is Thursday night, 6 p.m. PST, which is what we're doing right now. These will continue to happen on a consistent basis. Interviews will probably happen extemporaneously. And really, I don't think it's likely that I'll be streaming more than once or twice a week. So we're not going to be doing what we did before. But if you go into our Facebook group, there's, we've started the process of having more posts going out, and usually something to do with the topic of the month, which in this case is multi-platform presence. But we'll also have some shameless self-promotion threads prepared. We're going to start to share content from the archives that we've posted to our website at sparkinfinity.live. I'm going to start sharing more from my print newsletter, which is coming out October. Or it is October. It's coming out October 20th, my first issue of my print newsletter. So I'm going to be sharing tidbits from that. There's going to be a lot of stuff. There's going to be polls. If you're not already part of the Spark Infinity Facebook group, you got to head over to Spark Infinity on Facebook. Go to Facebook and use the search tool. Find the Spark Infinity Facebook group and join it. And that's where a lot of stuff's going on all the time. You can participate in the discussions, and we really look forward to you contributing and being a part of that. Next, what happened to creativity, excitement, emotion? Great question. And for those not in the know, creativity, excitement, emotion is my podcast. Well, here's the thing, right? Like Spark Infinity has basically overtaken that as being kind of my main show now. Like I remember why I started creativity, excitement, emotion, but I don't know why I still have it going, because we've already got so much. And let me put it to you this way, like sparkinfinity.live, our website, I'm still planning to go back and post all the podcast episodes or all the interviews we did and a bunch of the office hours we did and a few other things. I think we'll probably post the show and tells as well. I'm still planning to go back and post all of that to sparkinfinity.live. As of now, we've got I think it's about 8 posts actually published, or I don't even know if all of those are on the website, but they certainly are on our Spark Infinity Live YouTube channel. But we've got something like 82, I'm counting. And it might be, give or take a few, but 82 episodes that I'm still planning to post to Spark Infinity Live. Now, if I was not committed to have to having new content every week, but that is the general goal. Like showing up like this is happening every week. What I mean is adding new stuff from the archives to the website every week. I'm hoping it happens every week. It doesn't have to happen every week though, because as you can tell, we got new stuff going on all the time. So really, I guess the answer is Spark Infinity is my podcast now, whether I intended it for it to be that or not. But that feels good to me. Like I've got a great contract in big tech. I've got a great business that I'm starting and getting going. I've got a few clients that I enjoy working with. And I've got a few side projects. I don't need a whole lot more in my life at this point. So having one more thing to have to think about. I think documenting the journey can happen right here on Spark Infinity. It doesn't have to happen on Creativity, Excitement, Emotion. So I think what I'm saying is at some point in the near future, because I never put a notice out, I'm probably just going to say like, Creativity, Excitement, Emotion is going to be put on hiatus. And that's probably what it is. It's going to be a hiatus. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm not going to do it anymore. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be gone forever. But I don't need one more content channel. I think I would really love to focus mostly on Spark Infinity. And when I say that, I'm really saying like Spark Infinity is its own channel. We have a website, we have an email list, we have a few social media platforms. That to me represents a channel, but I think it's the main channel now. It's our community. It's where we like to connect with people and have conversations. So I think this is it. This versus Creativity, Excitement, Emotion. Having one more podcast to do, I don't want to do it. Well, frankly, it's just, I could easily sit at a microphone and talk like I am right now. That's not the issue. I have got lots of ideas. That's also not the issue. I just don't want to be the one editing and making all the show notes and uploading it to the website and making header graphics and on. It goes and making highlights and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of work, and I would just prefer, I think, to focus on the thing that is demonstrating some potential and really is a channel to. It's a mic stage and audience situation. Like I'm here to highlight and spotlight you to the degree possible. Again, we zagged because we had to, or we zigged because which is it? We zagged because we needed to, because nobody was signing up, and these things happen. So community still exists for the same reason, but if this is kind of the primary way of communicating with you, I think that's fine with me. Next question, can I still go live with you? I basically answered this, but yes, the answer is yes. You can still go live with me. All you got to do is drop me in the chat or in the comments. I'll get in touch with you. You can DM me if you know how to do that. You can find me on Facebook or another social media platform. I don't know that I'll immediately respond to some of those, but I think the ideal would be either Instagram or Facebook. I'll get back to you and we can set up a conversation. So yes, absolutely. And if you wanted to go the self-serve route, at the end of the day, I just send you a link anyway, and you can already find where that link is on the sparkinfinity.live website. If you head on over there, I think it's the second button. So there's two buttons on the homepage. There's one on the left and the right. If you just click the one on the right, you can book a time. Well, please go through the steps in order, but it's quick and easy. And walk yourself through the self-serve booking process and book a time with me. We'll have a conversation. Hope that sounds good. Next, what are you working on right now? Also, kind of covered this, but I would say Indie Career Formula. And this was previously Content Marketing Musician, which was kind of an offshoot of Music Entrepreneur HQ. So it's all, in a way, it's kind of tied together, but the focus is broader. As you are surely aware, Spark Infinity appeals not just to musicians, but writers, poets, artists of all kinds, dancers. We have photographers in here too. Really glad, really happy to see that. There's so many different types of people with so many different modalities. Really is the coolest thing. That's what we wanted, and that's the way things are going right now. So we're going to continue to build this group course. But besides that, my indiecareerformula.com, that's where I'm planning to publish my newsletter. That's going to be my membership. It's going to be my paid membership, but it gives you access to most things I created. It doesn't give you all my books, but it gives you all my courses. and my members only audios and a forum. There's a bunch of stuff you get when you join into Career Formula. You can't join as of yet, but I am planning to make that available upon the launch of the first issue of my print newsletter. Now, I kind of tend to think of it as my print newsletter because that will be my primary focus from month to month. It's making sure that is awesome and it's filled with great content and it's filled with great imagery and design and stuff that you'll want to read. But the membership encapsulates and encompasses so many other things, so many other resources that I've created through the year that can help creatives in so many different ways on their journey to creating the type of career they want. So I would say that's the thing. And there's a lot of other things I'm working on. Like I said, there's some clients, there's some side projects, all that's happening simultaneously, but those would be the main things. So thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed another edition of Spark Infinity Office Hours. We'll be back with more next week on multi-platform presence. Hope you've been enjoying your October so far. Leave a comment in the chat, and of course, do actually like, comment, and subscribe. I cringe even to say it, but we ask that you would do that anyway, no matter where you happen to be watching. If there's no option to subscribe, follow. If there's no option to follow, you get the idea. So like, comment, subscribe, do all the things, as the kids like to say, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.